Good morning, happy Tuesday. It's time for some more American Truck Simulator. And today we're going to take a look at the new update to version 1.47. But a little different. It's going to be wrong answers only day. Let's get this Mack on the road and see what's changed. Well, that's something that hasn't changed, and that's the horn sounds. Although I'm using a sound mod. In fact, I'm going to put a link to the mods I'm using today on most of the mods in the description below. And yeah, so this is my Mack R, which I have decided to update. Let me go on to explain. So I normally use a Mack E6 or E7 III or maybe even an E865 series engine. But one of the features of the Steel Productions Mack engine pack is that the Mack R can be equipped with several of the Mack Anthem engines. So that's the MP7 and MP8. And you could also install the Mack M-Drive transmissions too. And that's exactly what this sidewalk grey coloured Mack R has. Under the hood here, we're running the Mack MP7 395 horsepower version that has 1560 foot-pounds of torque. We're also using the overdriven M-Drive transmission. So that is taller gearing and more power than most of the standard Macks. 395 horsepower is close to the unofficial, or maybe it's official, Mack power rating for this truck, which is 400 horsepower. So this Mack R is thoroughly modernized. It's a lot quieter than the standard Mack R, and it's a lot more performant. And seeing as it's more modern, we've not only installed the new engine and gearbox, we've also given it some of those new safety features that are new features of version 1.47. So we now have adaptive cruise control and collision avoidance. So we're going to see how well they work. Hold on tight, it's going to get rough. Well, that's exactly how you don't drive. I may well skip through some of that, but there we go. I was just trying to provoke some of the electronic systems anyway. We have just about arrived at our cargo. Obviously, it shouldn't drive at that speed along access roads like that. let's go ahead and check in. Let's see, what have we got? Urgent delivery of mortar. That's a fairly long trip. In fact, yeah, those are too long, I think. What have we got here? None of these are really quite what I was looking for. Well, yeah, I mean that's a reasonable trip. Yeah, I'll go with that. So mortar from Austin up to Dallas. So not a bad trip. It's going to make us about $12,000 in theory if I don't do anything stupid. The weather's not great, so the speed limit of 65 is going to be sensible. That's a World of Trucks limitation. And here's my cargo. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing connected and likely skip through this, and I'll be right back. Ooh, nicely done. And that's the irony, as I was going to skip through this and got it in one. Alright, so back in the cabin. I've got about 4 hours, 3 hours 43 in theory of travel. Let's get on the go. So one of the new features that's been added to the game is adaptive cruise control. Now, no word of a lie, I was really excited by this feature. And the second feature to be introduced is that of emergency brake assist. And that's whereby the truck, through sensors, will attempt to prevent you to crash into the vehicle or objects in front of you. And these two systems, they use the same sensors. In real life, it can be a radar or a camera to detect an object or your rate of closure, a control system of some sort, and a means of applying the brakes. Well, let's see how well it works approaching this gate. So it is, well, it didn't brake me. That was me. And, okay. Didn't work against the gate. I'm sure it's just because the gate's see-through and the radar electronic control system game engine didn't recognize it. Or maybe this is foreshadowing. I'm not sure. Well, I mean, I do have cargo behind me and it's wet, so it was braking, just not as much as I hoped. So another one of the new features of version 1.47 is enhanced performance, especially in the dark, and I believe in the rain and when the lighting is changing. Well, it's just stopped raining. It's daylight, so neither of those two things factor here, but let's see if we've got improved performance. So I'm running this thing hard as we climb up the on-ramp, and I mean, some people are saying 50% greater performance. So, I mean, if I'm limited to 65, does that mean I can do like 100? I mean, so far, I'm not really seeing improved performance. It's kind of like it's performing as I would expect. A 395 or 400 horsepower engine will do. Maybe it'll do better up this hill. Maybe we'll just like find some extra power and off we go. And no, not really. Well, that's a little disappointing. Maybe extra performance means cornering at high speeds. So, yeah, if I can't get to high speeds, it's not going to matter though, is it? We haven't fallen off the road, so that's a good thing. Alright, well, let's crest this hill and make like a blue whale and sing our way out of here. And off we go. Yeah. This one may also be busted. I'm not seeing the promise of 50% better performance. Maybe it'll be better in the rain. Who's to say, or maybe when it gets dark. But I think that myth has been busted then, chaps. Sorry.
Precaución, por favor, tenga en cuenta la velocidad.
Did the release notes mention anything about lower engine noise.
Precaución, por favor, tenga en cuenta la velocidad.
Oh, there we go. That was the adaptive cruise control kicking in because I was overhauling that white Prius, or blue Prius, and there's clearly a danger I was going to trample it under my wheels. Not the most convincing display of adaptive cruise control because
Mantente a la izquierda.
I'm being outrun by a Prius. However, I didn't run into the back of him, I suppose. Does that count? Maybe. Whoa. The adaptive cruise control just responded to that truck in the access road to the right. Huh. I guess the system's not quite perfect yet. Okay, this will be my exit.
Continúe a la derecha y vuelva
So,
a la derecha.
oh, interesting. That ambulance has just pulled in front of me. Let's use that to test the emergency brake assist, because I mean that's an emergency vehicle, so that's got to qualify. So, bumper camera view. Let's just hope that it. Please stop. Please. Oh crap. Oh. Well, that's probably. I think it failed. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was braking, but it didn't stop, and of course the ambulance just drove off. It was like a hit and run. Okay, well I think I proved a point there. The emergency brake assist should not be relied upon to prevent crashing, which does mean that Priuses are back on the menu for those accidental little shunts that we might have from time to time. That was not quite the demonstration I was hoping for. I was hoping we'd like stop with just a few inches to spare, but evidently not. It also doesn't stop me from running red lights. I'll just back up here. There's no backup camera included in this update. Okay, well, that's a pretty reasonable demonstration of some of the new features of the game. All said and done, I love the changes that I've seen. And I have seen a fairly useful frame speed benefit. So, is it 50%? In my case, it doesn't seem to be, but I've got quite powerful hardware running the game. The collision avoidance system is flawed, but it's true in the real world as well, and when it works quite well. Adaptive cruise control, it's been a bit of a pain really. It gets triggered by vehicles in the other lane all too easily. It's not a bad feature, absolutely not, and I'm going to experiment with the distance that you can use. Well, this has been quite the exercise in how not to drive, so hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. If you're a regular long-time viewer, you might be thinking I'm back to my usual standards of driving. You would of course be quite wrong. I drive much better than this, really. Honest. And if you're new to the channel, I don't take these things all too seriously. I take my engine definitions seriously, but that's something else. Hope you're having a great one. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.